I always thought getting caught would end with screaming, maybe a slap, maybe a slammed door, but not silence. Not the way Daniel looked at me that night. Like something inside him had quietly died. The apartment still smelled like rosemary chicken and burned butter. I'd overcooked it again. Thursday nights were our ritual. His laptop closed, my phone face down, jazz humming low from the speaker by the window. Outside, rain streaked the glass, turning the city into a blur of neon tears. I was rinsing my hands at the sink when my phone buzzed on the counter. Once, then again. Daniel didn't usually look at my phone. We had that kind of trust, or I thought we did, but his eyes flicked the screen when the name lit up. Evan, a heart emoji I'd forgotten to delete. I felt my chest cave in. Who's Evan? He asked, not accusing. Curious, almost gentle. I dried my hands too slowly. My brain scrambled for lies that suddenly tasted cheap. A coworker, I said, we're finalizing the Henderson pitch. Another buzz. This time the preview showed more than a name. I can still taste you. Daniel reached the phone before I could. He read it, didn't blink, didn't raise his voice. He just nodded once, like a man confirming a long-suspected weather forecast. How long? He asked. I laughed. God help me, I laughed. A thin, hysterical sound that didn't belong to me. It's not. Don't, he said softly. That word landed harder than a shout. Just how long? The truth pressed against my ribs, begging to be let out. 3 months. Hotel rooms that smelled like detergent and bad decisions. Lunches that turned into hands under tables. Evan's reckless grin. The way he made me feel seen in ways Daniel hadn't lately. Or maybe I'd stopped looking. 3 months. I whispered. Daniel leaned back against the counter. His reflection in the microwave door looked older, smaller. He nodded again. Still calm. Too calm. I need some air, he said, grabbing a jacket. He didn't slam the door when he left. He closed it carefully, like the apartment might shatter if he didn't. I stood there, phone buzzing in my hand, heart racing, wondering why the quiet felt so much worse than anger, and whether he was coming back at all. Daniel didn't come home that night. I watched the blue glow of my phone until dawn, refreshing his location like a ritual, my stomach twisting with every minute he stayed frozen at a park across town. No calls, no texts, just that unmoving dot on a dark map. By morning, guilt had turned physical, nausea, a pressure behind my eyes. Evan texted once. You okay? I didn't reply. When Daniel finally walked in, the sun was already high. His jacket was damp. His eyes were red, but his voice was steady. I called in sick, he said. We need to talk. We sat at the dining table, untouched plates between us like evidence. He didn't ask questions this time. He didn't need to. I went through your messages, he said. All of them. My breath hitched. I know that's bad, but... No, he said. What you did is bad. I was just confirming. He slid his phone across the table. On the screen was a photo I know he had, me and Evan reflected in a hotel mirror, my head on Evan's shoulder. Taken the night, I told Daniel I was working late. My knees went weak. There's more, Daniel continued. I spoke to Evan. My heart dropped. What did you say? I thanked him, Daniel said. I stared at him. For what? For showing me who I married. The words cut clean, surgical. I reached for his hand, but he pulled it back, not harshly, just decisively. You want to know the worst part? He asked. It's not the sex. It's that you came home after. You let me cook for you. You asked about my day. Tears spilled before I could stop them. I was lonely, I said. You were always tired, always somewhere else. Daniel nodded slowly. I know, and that's on me. But cheating? That was your choice. He stood up. I'm staying with my sister for a bit. For a bit? I echoed, clinging to the phrase. He paused at the door. Looked back once. I haven't decided yet. After he left, I collapsed on the floor, sobbing into the quiet. My phone buzzed again, Evan calling this time. I watched it ring until it stopped. I thought the worst had already happened. I was wrong. 3 days later. Daniel asked me to meet him at the old cinema downtown, the one where we'd had our first date. The message was short. We should talk. One last time. Hope is a dangerous thing. I wore the blue dress he once loved. My hand shook the entire drive. Daniel was already there, sitting in the back row. The theater was empty, dust motes floating in projector light. He didn't smile when he saw me. "I'm not here to yell," he said as I sat today. "I'm here to finish this." The screen flickered to life. Not a movie, but a slideshow. Screenshots. Dates. Messages. My messages. Even the ones I deleted. My breath caught when I realized what he'd done. "I sent these to myself," Daniel said. "I needed to see it all. To understand how you became someone who could hurt me like this." Shame burned through me. "Why show me this?" "Because this is the last time your choices get to live in my head," he replied. "After tonight, they're yours alone." He turned to me then, eyes steady, voice low. "I'm filing for divorce." The word hit harder than any insult could have. I reached for him, desperate. "Please, I'll quit my job. I'll cut him off. Therapy, anything." Daniel shook his head. "You don't get to negotiate the consequences." Tears streamed down my face. "Don't you still love me?" He thought about it. Really thought. "I love who I thought you were," he said finally. "But loving you now would mean betraying myself." That broke me. He stood, handed me an envelope. Inside were the keys to the apartment, and a single note in his handwriting. "I hope one day you understand that my silence was mercy." As he walked away, I realized his reaction wasn't cold. It was controlled. And that control, that quiet dignity, hurt more than rage ever could. Weeks later, alone in the apartment that no longer felt like home, I deleted Evan's number. It didn't feel like redemption, just clarity. Some betrayals don't end with explosions. They end with someone choosing themselves and leaving you to face who you became when no one was watching.